for the past 2 weeks. Villagers in a rural region of Turkey have been constantly complaining about wild boars destroying their crops and even attacking livestock at night. Despite trying various traditional methods, the problem persisted. Faced with this urgent situation, our hunting team teamed up with the locals to take action. And so began the chase for these destructive invaders. This would be our first ambush of the day. We had just gotten into position when the first dark shapes started to emerge from the distance.
Guinfi rend out from aussi.
Startled by the gunshot, the boar bolted, crashing through the underbrush trying to escape. After several more rounds, it finally collapsed onto the forest floor, and I couldn't help but celebrate the moment. Following that first success,
Our team advanced the mountain slope.
we immediately got into position, constantly adjusting our scopes as the herd moved unpredictably through the rough terrain. The first shots were fired from a considerable distance, a real challenge. But thanks to sharp focus and accurate shooting, we managed to bring down several targets in the blink of an eye. We had only moved a short distance when suddenly, another familiar silhouette appeared. The moment it poked out from the brush,
Ifi red, quick, clean.
and precise. Not far from there,
Another wild boar darted out.
I stood my ground, gripped the rifle tightly, and opened fire. Unfortunately, my first shot missed.
J20 the animal a chance to sprint away.
Luckily, my hunting partner had been waiting further down the slope. Right beside us, another friend fired and sent a second boar tumbling to the ground. The loud barking of our hunting dogs led us to another boar trying to hide. But this one wouldn't go down easy.
Le VN d'instinct driven.
It slipped through narrow gaps and dense foliage. Our team opened fire, but the boar kept weaving through the undergrowth.
Toute manœuvrine et vribulet. In the herd managed to escape.
Leaving us behind, frustrated and regretful. We pressed on over rugged, rocky trails, making our way toward the mountain peak. Scanning the landscape ahead, we spotted a herd of boars charging downhill. Determined not to let them get away, we quickly spread out and blocked off key escape routes. As soon as the boars broke from the trees, my buddy and I opened fire.
Letting off a storm of bullets.
Despite their frantic dash, two of them fell almost instantly. We were certain more wild boars were still hiding nearby. The team kept searching. Suddenly, under fierce pursuit by our dogs, a huge boar burst from the bushes, startling everyone. But this was no ordinary prey. It was strong, fast, and surprisingly agile. One final burst, then it collapsed in the middle of the forest, bringing an end to a truly intense encounter.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex Carter, a documentary filmmaker passionate about capturing the wildest stories. I'm not a hunter, and my hands are not used to pulling the trigger. My weapon isn't a gun, it's my camera, the tool that allows me to capture every tense moment, every precise shot, and every heart-pounding chase. This isn't just another film, it's a real-life battle between man and beast. The first light of dawn peaks over the horizon as we take off from the base. The helicopter vibrates slightly as the rotors spin, lifting us higher. Sitting next to me is a team of seasoned hunters, their eyes sharp and focused. At the edge of a barren forest, another herd of wild boars appears. Moving in tight formation, they react swiftly to the roaring engine above. A high-stakes showdown unfolds. With precise shots, the hunters bring them down one by one. Watching this scene, I can't help but reflect. These hunters are not thrill seekers, they are on a mission to control the wild boar population. These massive creatures don't just destroy crops, they pose a serious threat to local communities. My camera keeps rolling, capturing another intense moment. Spotting a large herd below, the pilot swiftly lowers the helicopter, closing in on the targets. The camera shakes violently, but I can't afford to miss this. One by one, the wild boars fall under the hunter's powerful shots. Oh my god. What's happening before my eyes is unbelievable. It all unfolds in mere seconds, yet my heartbeat remains erratic after witnessing such an intense chase. The helicopter gradually lowers over a vast field. Two dark figures sprint ahead, desperately trying to escape the relentless pursuit. With speeds reaching up to 50 kilometers per hour and their ability to weave through complex terrain, wild boars are not easy prey. While helicopters provide superior visibility, they must constantly adjust to keep up with the boar's erratic zigzag movements. This time, the hunters triumph. Like black arrows darting across the grasslands, the boars attempt to flee, but the well-placed shots are merciless. Skill, experience, and precision ensure another successful mission. Wild boars reproduce at an alarming rate. Each female can give birth to 4 to 6 piglets per litter, rapidly expanding their population. This is why helicopter hunting is not just a thrill, it's a strategic approach to population control. From above, hunters gain a tactical advantage, spotting targets quickly and executing precise shots. Watching him handle his rifle, lining up each shot with calculated precision, I realize this is not just hunting for him. It's like a strategic game, where every decision determines the outcome. The helicopter tilts slightly, positioning itself for the perfect shot. I grip the frame tightly, adjusting my focus to capture every second of this crucial moment. A breathtaking display of marksmanship follows. One by one, and then in groups, the wild boars drop within mere moments. I feel incredibly fortunate to witness and document this once-in-a-lifetime event. On the way back, I review the footage. My camera has captured everything, from the first sighting, the heart-stopping aerial pursuit, to the final, decisive shots.
Recently, a vicious herd of wild hogs showed up right in a residential area, causing chaos and threatening public safety. Unable to let the situation continue, a professional hunting team quickly stepped in, determined to eliminate these destructive invaders. Our entire hunting team arrived early at the mountaintop, with every member quickly moving into position to deploy our formation. While we were fully focused on observing the surroundings, we suddenly spotted a herd of wild hogs on the move. They were clever, constantly changing directions to shake off their pursuit. I quickly gave chase, and the moment I had a clear shot, I decisively pulled the trigger. A precise shot struck a vital spot, instantly dropping one wild hog. Not long after, I spotted another large hog. Before it could veer off to escape, I opened fire, taking down the dark figure in an instant. For the next half hour, we continued tracking, and the strong, hefty hogs running downhill came into the team's sights. Without hesitation, I closed in and fired. What a fantastic moment. A split-second shot landed me another confirmed target. With my trusted hunting rifle in hand, I expanded my search area. This time, I spotted a hog from quite a distance. Still, I decided to take a chance and lock in. My heart was pounding with excitement. Finally, I landed a precise shot. The hog lost its balance and collapsed shortly after. The hunt wasn't over yet. We had just noticed another hog. Amid the rustling of fallen leaves, I kept a close eye and fired several consecutive shots. The resounding gunfire made sure that the hog had no chance to escape. There were so many hogs here that we barely had a search. Every so often, a few would appear as if challenging us hunters. Even if it was just a lone target, we stayed true to the pursuit. This time I took careful aim. The moment the target was dead center in my sights, I pulled the trigger without hesitation. As the afternoon arrived, the whole team mobilized again for another ambush. Our first target appeared, being chased by a pack of hounds. I tried to close in and fired several shots. After that, the team moved to the left side of the mountain. There we suddenly encountered two dark figures charging down. My teammate and I quickly opened fire, constantly adjusting our aim to match the hog's path. One of them veered out and got away, but the other couldn't escape the devastating force of it. Before we could even celebrate the previous success, another hog suddenly burst out from the dense canopy. I couldn't afford to miss this opportunity. I raised my rifle, locked in the target, and pulled the trigger. Perfect shot. On the way back, we unexpectedly came across a pair of wild hogs. They tried to flee quickly, but didn't realize that John and I were already blocking their escape. With his rich experience, John fired two clean, decisive shots, taking down one of the hogs within seconds.
On this trip, we stopped by the suburbs, Georgia, near Albany. This area has been severely damaged by wild pigs. Immediately, we planned our action. We brought full equipment. The goal was to sweep the entire area, especially in the fields next to the forest south of Albany.
Hey, what you got there, bud?
When the clock just struck 9 p.m., we were present in a large field next to the Flint River Basin forest. After only a few minutes of scanning with the infrared scope, we discovered the first targets digging up the soil. We quickly got into ambush position, holding our breath, waiting for the opportunity. Once the herd approached, they immediately attacked. The wild boar was taken down, and this was just the beginning. A few nearby targets were frightened and quickly fled. However, my friend was already lying in ambush ahead.
Right here.
In just a moment, the enemy was down. Around 10 p.m., a familiar sound came from the bushes near the edge of the forest. We stopped, observed. It was exactly the targets we were looking for. split into two groups, surrounded on both sides. As the leader just advanced into the open space, gunshots tore through the night. The wild boar was taken down immediately. The remaining one rushed into the bushes, but could not escape the accurate bullets from the other members of the team. The night grew darker, and more pigs appeared. Do you see? It seemed to be a leader pig. It looked quite large and fierce. That was the moment. A decisive shot was fired. The wild boar fell to the ground. The small wild boar nearby was also quickly taken down, because if it escaped, it would be a threat to the people in the future.
3, 2, 1.
Around 1 a.m., as we set up an ambush near a grassy area, the sound of wild boars digging in the ground rang out right next to our ears.
Back from the south.
At a distance of about 40 meters, within a few seconds of aiming, I successfully took down the giant wild boar with a perfect headshot. The hunt continued. We tried to track down the fleeing wild boars. Although their speed was quite fast, I still seized the opportunity and took down a few more targets. Hunting wild boars here seemed not to be difficult, as they always appeared to feed every night. As time passed, the number of wild boars gradually increased. We fought relentlessly, determined to eradicate this group of destroyers. At this time, the remaining pigs scattered in panic, looking for a way to escape. But they could not escape our barrage of bullets. As the sky neared dawn, the number of wild pigs had decreased significantly. Gunfire continued to ring out steadily in the quiet space of the night, and then each wild pig fell down quickly. Without stopping, we continued to search everywhere, determined to take down as many targets as possible. At around 4 a.m., we were also gradually getting tired, and with the remarkable results of tonight, the group decided to stop the hunting trip here.
I'm telling you. Oh, big pigs, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Louisiana, where the fields stretch and the swamps are vast, braced against an unwelcome enemy, feral pigs. According to local government statistics, the damage caused by feral pigs is estimated to be in the millions of dollars each year. We couldn't wait for the pigs to come to our homes. We couldn't wait for them to destroy our crops. And we couldn't kill them one by one the old-fashioned way, too dangerous, too slow. So the aerial assault was launched, and we, the seasoned hunters, were invited to join in. We were in the helicopter and headed out to the vast plains. From above, we watched the panicked pigs flee. Amidst the noise of the propellers, we kept firing, aiming at the pigs below. The open terrain made it easy for us to spot the target. With no place to hide, the herd of pigs was quickly taken down. From our position on the plain, we detected signs of another herd of wild pigs, but they were hiding in the nearby woods, making it difficult to see clearly. So a plan was made. The plane lowered its altitude, approached, and caused a commotion. Finally, after half an hour of patience, the wild pigs could not bear it and ran out. And the result could not be otherwise. A lightning attack took place, and we successfully finished off the target. However, in the chaos, a few wild boars were lucky to escape. Immediately launched a pursuit. Here it is. After determining the location of the herd of pigs, we were ready to attack. These wild boars were more cunning than we thought. They avoided the fatal shot, which surprised the whole team. Immediately after, we also took advantage of the opportunity and shot down a few more wild boars.
Well, Amp, we got so horny to touch off rounds of each other.
This hunting method is really effective. It didn't take us too long to find the target. After the intense confrontation, a few wild boars were running away. They separated from the herd and ran everywhere. Not missing the opportunity, the whole team fought with all their might. We aimed our guns at the biggest ones and pulled the trigger. Oh, this target is so big. Aiming at the vital spot, I fired a decisive shot. After a loud bang, the wild boar had no chance to escape. We moved towards the lush fields. They thought that the tall grass would help them hide, but it was all in vain. Discovered, they ran away at an extremely fast speed. We only took down a few targets. However, we did not give up and continued to chase. afternoon, we continued our high-altitude hunting trip. This time, we were more prepared, but at this time, the pigs were also extremely active. We really don't remember how many pigs were taken down today. It could be a huge number, and this was a successful hunt. On the final day of our grueling hunting journey, we made the bold decision to head for the highest mountain peaks, the very place where wild boars were hiding out, wreaking havoc on the forests, crops, and the delicate balance of the local ecosystem. Herds of aggressive, fearless boars stormed downhill, destroying everything in their path and plunging local communities into crisis. The most effective solution now? Hunting. Our wild boar hunting team was ready. Buckle up for a tense and thrilling expedition. After double-checking our weapons, the hunt officially began. Just 15 minutes in, a massive dark shape slowly emerged through the scope. I held my breath, stayed calm, adjusted every centimeter, and squeezed the trigger. The shot rang out sharply. In an instant, the boar collapsed and lay still. Wasting no time, I swiftly shifted my aim, where more boars were about to flee. One clean shot after another echoed through the silence. Each target fell one by one as their distinct cries pierced the still mountain air. Scanning the area carefully. When I was close enough and had a clear shot, I didn't hesitate. Bullseye! A well-placed shot dropped the boar instantly. It wasn't the biggest one, but still, a satisfying outcome. Fueled by success, we turned our attention to a larger herd moving in the distance. As the first bullets rang out, the herd scattered in chaos, running in every direction. But we held our ground, adjusting positions while keeping our sights locked. Gunfire echoed across the mountains as we took calculated shots, aiming to make each bullet count without waste. Some were wounded, others dropped on the spot, and the rest disappeared deep into the forest. Hours later, I decided to relocate to a higher vantage point on a mountain slope, an ideal spot with a panoramic view of the dense forest below. From there, I could detect even the slightest movement among the tall grass and bushes. Sure enough, just minutes later, a shadow emerged. From that distance, I lined up the shot perfectly and brought down the boar with ease. But the hunt wasn't over. I continued along steep, rugged slopes where chasing would be impossible. In these areas, ambushing was the key. We picked concealed spots and patiently waited for the boars to wander into range. With the help of our hunting dogs, we were able to detect and take down more targets with relative ease. To stay hidden and avoid alerting the boars, our team constantly changed positions, moving from one ambush point to another. On the sparse hilltops, boars occasionally emerged. I seized every opportunity to take them down before they could escape. As the hunt neared its end, the pressure intensified. To get a better overview of the area, we deployed a drone, our eye in the sky, to scan the terrain from above. Through the live feed, we quickly spotted a group of boars attempting to escape via a trail on the other side of the hill. We didn't waste a second. The team split up to flank the group from two directions. Shots were fired, and the targets were swiftly taken down. The chase grew more intense as other hunters zeroed in on their own targets and joined the firefight. On the way back, just as we thought the journey was over, a massive boar suddenly burst from the bushes, darting across the trail right in front of us. Adrenaline surged as we quickly got into position. The moment I had a clear angle, I raised my rifle and fired. The boar wasn't an easy target, but after a few well-placed shots, I brought it down. Yet, this is far from the end. Wild boars reproduce at an alarming rate, and the fight against these destructive invaders is far from over. This war may continue for a long time to come. Day and night, people live in constant fear of their crops being torn apart, trash cans being raided, and vehicles crashing into these four-legged beasts right on the highway. They breed fast, destroy everything in their path, and show zero fear of humans. The authorities are helpless. Locals are fed up. And that's when hunters like us step in. The most intense wild hog hunt of 2025 starts, right here, right now. Seasoned hunters gathered together, gearing up at the base of the mountain to begin the hunt. We split up and took positions along the slopes, where we had a clear view of the valley below. The echoing barks of our hunting dogs grew louder and louder, a clear sign that the target was being relentlessly pursued. There it is. A massive wild hog, scrambling to escape in panic. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle, aimed, and pulled the trigger. Following the barks, I caught a glimpse of another hog moving through my line of sight. I didn't give it a chance to run. I kept firing. Spot on. A series of fast and accurate shots brought it down effortlessly. From my ambush spot, I scanned the area, searching for the next target. Not long after, I spotted a hog staggering through a patch of dry trees at the bottom of the valley. It was a long shot, too far for a regular shot, but I knew I wouldn't get a second chance. I took a deep breath, steadied my aim, and squeezed the trigger. The shot rang out, and just a beat later, the hog dropped. It was a mix of surprise, tension, and pride. That wasn't luck, that was skill and self-belief paying off. I weaved carefully through the dense bushes, every step silent and cautious. Peeking through the leaves, I spotted a hog on the run. I quickly gave chase, closed the distance, and the moment it was in my sights, I fired. Everything went surprisingly smoothly. A strong start like this is always a good sign for a fruitful hunting day. After a tense chase, the hog herd scattered in all directions. I quickly repositioned to a thick bush to set up an ambush. Time ticked by slowly, each second felt like an eternity. But I knew patience always pays off. Suddenly, a hog dashed out, its footsteps giving me just enough warning. I didn't hesitate, my reflexes kicked in. A sharp shot rang out, the hog collapsed. A perfect ambush, quick, clean, and decisive. You see, in such a rich ecosystem, hogs love to hide, so I knew there were more lurking nearby. I kept searching. There, a dark shape flashed by. Gunshots exploded in the air. But I didn't stop there. I found fresh tracks. Then, another chance. A group of strong hogs entered my sights. A few precise shots later, they too were down. Another effective ambush, just the way I like it.
Şunları döndürdüm.
After several intense encounters, the whole team was starting to feel the fatigue. But just as we paused to rest, more hogs appeared. They were sneaking through the thick foliage. Not wasting a second, we pressured them out of hiding. As soon as a few broke out from the brush, I raised my gun and squeezed the trigger. The shots were fast and precise. Even though they were quick and alert, our experience and calm under pressure gave them no chance of escape. In the forest, hogs would occasionally dart through the trees. We never missed a beat, constantly chasing, flanking, and seizing every opening to strike.